All right, so what are we drinking?
Are we rolling?
Yes.
Okay, we're drinking a 2015 Mercury Premier Cru from Burgundy, France. 2015.
Yes.
Great vintage, great little site. Way too young to be drinking 2015 red Burgundies, but some, like this one, are just extremely forward and giving while at the same time alluding to a lot of the complexity that they will someday have.
Okay, and why are we drinking this? Because K and L told you to?
Yeah, we're drinking this because we've got a whole bunch of wine gurus around town, and this came from K&L, which is a great wine store. Yeah.
Now, we have paired this, folks, with
what our grower has just brought us.
So this is a shit ton of weed. In fact, we have never... This will definitely last Shaman Edelstein and myself all year.
2018.
This is 2018.
It's 2018 right
so,
there, which is kind of shocking to the, everyday, all-day stoner.
Okay, tell us about the name and who, why this came about. This is kind of a sad day. I'm sort of in mourning, but we're doing a little bit of a ritual.
Yeah, the our Zeta grower jumped off of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
So
he's retired.
He's retired. He is Gonzo, which I don't think had anything to do with the Zeta personally.
No.
I mean,
he was a fucking artist and a genius. He was an artist,
and he was a tortured artist.
We're still in shock.
We're still in shock. A lot of artists are tortured artists. A suicide does not necessarily mean that there was something wrong with the product. It means that there was something. I don't know, and I don't know how I feel about suicide. That moment aside. Anyway, so Zeta's no more.
This is our commiseration, our funeral, our ritual, our blessing.
Over
our shamanic
goodbye.
This is our
and of
shamanic
course,
goodbye.
we'll meet the Zeta in the underworld again and again, and death to the grower, who we respect his identity and keep it a secret. He too, we will meet in the underworld.
Yeah.
By
the way, the Empire State Building was a metaphor because obviously, if somebody did jump off the Empire State Building, you would know who we're talking about.
He did not. It wasn't the Empire State Building, but it was an extremely tall building, and it wasn't in New York, but whatever.
Right. We're very sad. And so,
No more Zeta.
No more Zeta, which is hard to take. We knew this day was going to come.
Right.
Like, the problem or the benefit, take it as you will, of weed, is it's very similar to wine, which is kind of why we love weed and wine. So once the strain, once the plant, once the crop is done, it's done. Or if the grower decides to retire.
He was the only guy doing it.
Yeah.
He was the only guy doing it.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, Pynchon rolled in with some Rollins.
Okay. So tell us about this, and let's do a plug to the dispensary that's helping us out.
Well, okay, yeah. The guys over at what's the name of their dispensary again? I'll think of it in a second. But anyway, those guys hooked us up. We knew from Pynchon about the Rollins. It's named after Sonny Rollins, and it's meant to kind of like jazz its way into our world absent the Zeta.
Yeah.
It comes rolling in.
Let's talk about the 7.1, because you all know, if you've been watching our stuff, we never have, like, this is like
I traffic personally in grams.
Yeah.
So 7.1 grams in one bottle.
Right. This is usually what we're...
Right. There's 7 of those in here.
Yeah.
It can take, and of course for, we traffic in weed in different ways, but for the consumption of the shaman and the shaman's apprentice, this gram will last us 6 months.
Yeah.
No joke. So
like, literally.
So
that's
this
why we're not
is
worried about taxation in
7.1
California.
grams. So we should really roll a joint with this shit just to speak to abundance.
Oh, maybe 2018 should be all about rolling
the year
joints.
of the joint.
The year of the joint. I like that. All right, so Zeta.
Now
We love you.
Let's just say one more thing in love.
Oh, we got to talk about the fucking tasting.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh my god, I almost forgot the best part. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
Lauren. I mean, let's just face it, there's nothing like Pinot Noir. We all know that now, but when you have it in red Burgundy, you can already feel the scale of this wine, even though it's too young to drink, but the scale of this wine is so exquisite and massive, and this is still just a Premier Cru. This basically crushes, in terms of concentration, any California Pinot Noir, and yet it's way lower in alcohol than most of those big California Pinots.
And I have to say, here's the wonderful thing. So we did a little experiment, and before we smoked, we had some of the wine, and it was delicious. And then we smelled this lovely weed, and we've tried it. And the weed smells, in my opinion, like the most delicious passion fruit meringue summer dessert ever, like in those fancy schmancy restaurants. Like that was like the trendy dessert last summer, like that passion fruit meringue. Oh my god, I smell this
super
weed.
evocative.
Crazy. And of course there's that little bit of stinky cheese in there, like a little bit of spicy blue cheese or something underneath, but the passion fruit is so overwhelming. So here's what I love about drinking this wine. Now that we've had the weed and wine, maybe this is one of our new little spin-offs. Now that we've had the weed, this wine has that full candied
Picking
flavor.
up a lot of those flavors.
Full in the way that passion fruit has that lovely fullness, tartness, but then it has that aftertaste of like candy, like passion fruit, like tropical, like wow.
It's really brought out those flavors in this wine, and yet the wine still turns chocolatey on the very, very end.
Yeah, which goes nicely with that stinky cheese.
But just to think that like the flavor of the weed brings out similar flavors in the wine, just as one would experience food and wine.
And if anybody watching this would like to comment on their weed and wine experiences,
we would love it.
We would love it.
Subscribe. Like.
This is going to be a whole
share.
new year. I can't even believe it. And Capricorn just went into Saturn. And
yes, it did.
Our Zeta is no more, and we're on to the Rollins.
Wow.
And 2017 was all about the Zeta.
2018, we'll see how the Rollins treats us. I trust Pynchon, but Pynchon, how old is he now?
I mean, I had no idea. I thought this was one of his new books, and as you discovered when you opened the copyright 1984.
Yeah.
So
he's got to be in his 80s.
Yeah. We would love to meet you, Pynchon. We'd love to have you on the show.
Strong and still smoking the best weed and introducing it to us to it, even if we've never seen him unmasked.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Right. To the Zeta.
To the Zeta.
Man. Zeta Man, we love you.